Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sandbox Wednesday stream. What's going on here?
That was some audio feedback from my end. Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought that was coming from me. I'm like,
no, that was 100% me. Doing it again. Sorry. Yep, learning my lesson.
We're gonna mute Lucas for a minute. I can still hear him, but we'll just get it sorted. No, I really thought that I was the one doing the feedback, and it totally like was messing with my brain. I'm like, wait, what did I do?
Don't worry, everything's muted now.
Except you. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sandbox Wednesday stream. I am Alex Florez, a.k.a. Kamisazi, joined here in voice, mind, body, voice, and soul by Lucas's right.
He said voice twice because I'm really loud. It's fair. It's fair.
And welcome. If this is your first time here, we're doing the award show for the Tower Defense Game Jam, which we had hoped to do on Saturday. We usually do the award shows on Saturday. I'm feeling all discombobulated because I wanted it to be Saturday because it's an award show, and it just, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun with it. So, Alex was thinking, we don't want
the winners to have to wait that much longer. We want to let them know they did a good job. They put in some hard work, and we want to tell them about it.
Main Glow said Alex was thinking, when did my voice get so manly? And then it was Lucas. Haha. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you're insinuating.
I don't either. Completely lost.
I have a little bit of range.
I have none.
Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. Sometimes, usually it's like in this weird nasally range where it sounds okay in my head, and then I hear the audio bouncing back from Lucas's computer. I'm like, who's that annoying person talking over there? So
I think everybody hates the sound of their own voice. Like every once in a while I'll rewatch the stream just to catch something like a winner or a comment or something, and every single time I hear myself talk, I'm just like, ugh.
So I've gotten very used to it because I've been doing this for about 3 years now. And with a monitor in my microphone that goes right to my headphones, so I hear my voice constantly, which helps you kind of adjust to it. It still sounds weird when you just listen to it as a recording separately because you're not getting those undertones like from your own chest and stuff in through your body. So it is a little weird hearing it as a recording, depending on how it's mixed. But what's really weird is I've started working with my brother a lot, and we have not just the same mannerisms, but a very similar sounding voice. So because I've been talking to him on the phone and on Discord and stuff more, I've gotten used to hearing his voice, and then I will go to our Twitch and it'll start playing and I will hear my voice, but I'll go, is that my brother? And no, it's me, actually. I think whenever I hear my own recorded voice, I think it's my brother now. It's really weird. Drop the link. It is not giveaway time. No, it's not giveaway time yet. Way too early. Nope. Way too early.
I haven't even created the link yet.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not ready for that yet. First, we got to talk about the game jam. And
which game jam would that be, Alex?
Oh no, my green screen's not set up correctly on this view. Mm-hmm. We're doing it live, and Lucas is giant. This one's all messed up. We're fixing things live here. Like I said, discombobulated kind of.
It's one of those days.
Here. It's just one of those days. This is what happens when we move the stream from Saturday to Wednesday. All right.
Chaos.
Lucas is giant. Yeah, we're all fixed now. We're all fixed. So I was forgetful. What? Whoa! We got a wild Joseph the Vision X Madding here in the chat. Hi, Joe.
Good morning.
Hey.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening. Is that my line now?
That was your part, but I ruined it because I'm a bad gamer. not even a good gamer, bro. Yeah.
Hi, Joe. How's it going?
It's going well. I'm just hanging out, watching this wonderful live stream over
It's
on
just-
twitch.tv/the Sandbox Game, and I thought I'd
watching this
jump in.
wonderful hot mess come tumbling
I
right
see
into your eyeballs.
you editing live, and I gotta say, it's not the first time that's happened on this channel. Not gonna
That's
lie,
true.
and it's definitely not the first time it was my fault. So,
And it will not be the last.
It's
yeah,
'cause
you know what? Probably not.
the last. Well, so what happened is the last time I used this view of Lucas and me dancing on top of the words here was the last time that we did a Game Jam awards show. And our cameras have moved significantly since then. And so the scene that I usually use, which shows my desktop background, has adjusted as our cameras and lights and stuff have moved. And then when I just pulled it up now, none of those adjustments carried over. But
Darn it.
I'm not seeing the Tower Defense Jam article, though. That's
Catch on fire.
weird.
You know what I mean? We can. I'm gonna go to sandboxgame.medium.com and look for that myself.
The Tower Game Jam keeps popping up, which is not the
Not
right
the
game
same.
jam. It's not the same thing.
I'm gonna
Not the same
scroll
thing.
until I find it. I'm gonna manually scroll.
There we
That's
go.
the way I'm gonna do it. 'Cause I'm
Joe's
doing
gonna
it
do
wrong.
it. Joe's gonna
That's
do it live.
old-fashioned. That's old fashioned.
Yeah.
It's not old fashioned. It's bad gamer thing to do. It's dumb, quite frankly. But I'm gonna scroll until I find it because I'm dedicated. That's it.
It is. Yeah. No, Vivox. It's not the Tower Game Jam. Tower Game Jam was an older one. That was from July, I think, June or July, and that was specifically with Tower, which is wait.
It's a mini games game jam thing.
Is this the same Game Jam?
Bro, I swear to you, if it is, then I'm gonna be a video gamer probably. Why do I keep saying that? Stop it, Joe. Get it together. Come up with another thing to say.
I don't think I think Andy's getting some much needed sleep right now. This might be the Tower Jam. Results will be announced on October 8th. So that sounds okay.
That sounds
Thank
like
you.
the correct one.
This sounds like the right thing. So
That was
in
true.
my head, I was separating Tower and Tower Defense as two separate game jams. And as I'm looking at it, I realized I should have looked this up before the show, but I didn't.
What?
So,
How
So-
You know,
dare
it's
you.
really easy to predict the score once the game is over, Alex.
Because it's part of the Tower franchise Crazy Defense Heroes, the free-to-play Tower Defense mobile game developed by Animoca France.
there we go. So I think it's because we
Yeah.
started calling it Tower Defense Jam, and then Defense wasn't showing up in the title, and I was like, it's got to be a different thing, right? It's got to be. But it says right here, Tower Defense Game Jam, right there, but not in the title. So that's This is why we look things up before the show, but I didn't.
Being
So
prepared is overrated, Alex.
so much, yeah. We're doing it
here to
live. We're
have
doing
fun.
it live. Yeah.
Okay.
Preparation's not fun. No.
No, it's really not.
It can be, but it's generally not.
It's generally not.
Hmm.
So, we're going to go over what this competition was.
Okay, let's do that.
The Game Jam was to create a tower defense game with the Sandbox Game Maker, as we do with all Game Jams here. Build a stronghold and make it resist waves of enemies. How long will you survive? The prize pool consisted of a total of 15,000 sand, plus rewards from the Tower franchise, split with 6,000 sand going to first place, plus 4 the Krazos profile picture NFTs. Second place gets 3,500 sand, plus 3 of the NFTs. And third place gets 2,000 sand, plus 2 of the NFTs. 4th through 10th place each receive 500 sand and 1 of the profile picture NFTs. Krazos is an avatar NFT inspired by Crazy Defense Heroes featuring 10,000 programmatically randomly generated NFTs on the Polygon blockchain. All right. I'm really happy with what I didn't stumble over my words at all. It's not bad for coming in
Yeah,
cold.
that's-
All right.
He's like, I didn't even read it. I didn't even read it, chat. That's what he's saying. I didn't even read it, and I got it right. I think it's Krazos, though. I would call them Krazos, knowing the Crazy
Krazos?
Defense Heroes. Probably not Krazos.
Great.
But like,
Okay.
I'm just
Sure,
putting
I'll take
things
it.
together.
It's
I'm wrong
valid.
as well.
It's valid criticism.
It's not gonna be the first time, you know. Not
gonna
for
be the
this
last.
live stream, you know what I'm saying? So I'm here for the party, Alex. We
Okay.
secretly chat.
Yeah.
We pre-planned some things here, so
Maybe a little
get
bit.
ready for some controversy
Yeah.
in this
okay.
call.
And I've got my boxing gloves laced up.
It's in the back of my pocket. I'm just chilling with this ace in this, you know, or whatever.
What he's saying is he's a grifter and he's waiting to take our money.
A grifter.
A grifter.
don't-
You got an ace up your sleeve.
No. I'm a busker at best. I've got a guitar in my back pocket, not an
Oh,
ace.
wow.
Either
Yeah,
you
how
got
does
a
that
really
even
big
work?
back pocket or a really tiny guitar.
I'm
I
really
wear
hoping it's a
Jinko's
tiny
jeans,
guitar
yeah.
because
Tiny
No,
guitar.
no, I wear Jinko's jeans, bro. It's oops all pockets.
Oops, all pockets.
All right. So there's the standard rules that go along with most of these. People had to use their own assets or NFTs that they had bought on the marketplace. There's teams allowed. We did have a couple of the winners in the competition were teams. And let's see. That's basically it. All right. So let's get that out of here. Let's get on to the fun stuff. So without further ado,
I'm excited to see this winners list.
yeah, we're going to take a look at the top 10 in no particular order, as always.
None?
No particular order for the
randomized.
top. Yeah, for the top 10,
Okay.
we always do it random. You don't know who third, second, and first place are. We'll reveal that
don't.
later. All right,
don't.
so get ready to get hyped. Here we go. Legend of Three Towers by Metafy Labs, which
Ooh.
is one of the teams, which I mentioned earlier. Black Doggo by Doggo Beyond. And thanks to Andy Ritchie for putting these videos together. It makes life a lot easier when it's already produced.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one has cannons, pirate ships, all sorts of stuff going on. World Without Warrior by Sanja. This one's just a straight up like traditional
Oh, that's
tower
really
defense.
cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got multiple lanes of enemies going on. You can upgrade them, upgrade your towers.
What was that one called again?
This is World Without Warrior by Sanja. Oh, you know what? I'm going to hide myself because I'm in the way of the names here.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that.
You're quite welcome.
All right,
Next
now
is
that Alex
Goblin
is
Invasion by Duty Dam.
gone. Sorry. This is a professional establishment, okay?
100%.
Giving away like thousands of dollars. Wow.
Yeah, just a few.
Goblins.
Lots of goblins.
Goblins.
Next is
Gonna-
No, Mommy by Kajoijid.
I wasn't sure if you were screaming that or if that was the name
No,
of
that's the title. That's the title. No, Mommy. And
You better eat your vegetables, son.
No. Kajoijid's also a team here. I don't know if the team is called Kajoijid, because Kajoijid is somebody that we've seen compete before, but I don't know if I don't know the other names in here. But if Kajoijid's in the chat, we can definitely share some of those people who worked on this project. Really excellent, thorough work on this one. Love the style. Next, we have Zombie Defense by Vina. This one really would fit right in with all the Walking Dead kind of stuff. Particularly the Fear the Walking Dead. And they had some nuclear things going on here. Really great atmosphere to this game.
Really digging it. The shifting scale numbers they have that went from 1 to 2
Mm-hmm.
That I liked that animation. It was smooth. It looks just like those old-fashioned clocks. Like, it was really good.
This one's Dusk of Mankind by Beyond Supremacy 09. This one is super ambitious with some crazy styling going on. I love these little spinning things, if you call them that. Some full screen effects. Next, we have Toon Defense by Echoverse Studio. Amazing character design in that one. And Tales of Zara by Sinizini? I think that's how that would be said. Sinizini?
Your guess is way better than mine.
Sinizini makes sense. It sounds a little bit like the way you used to pronounce Cody Zine's name, but in Sinizini, yeah. You know?
Oh. I'm never going to live that down.
No.
And up next, we have Castle Defenders by Vivox. It's Vivox.
It's Vivox, but the letter V. Yeah,
I know. It's another name that I didn't mess up, but other people made me think that I had.
Yeah.
So now I always second guess myself, but it is Vivox.
Yeah. This one goes a little bit. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I recently played Vivox's Ragnarok Game Jam entry, and I was really impressed. I want us to play it on the show one of these days, Alex, so I can get your feedback on it as well, because she did such a good job with it.
Sure. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we can play on Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, that was the end of
that.
that.
This experience kind of reminded me, at least the Vivox experience. Vivox, I get it wrong every time. I say them both like potato. V. Yeah, but every time I correct myself, I do the same thing, right? I go back in time and I'm like, I'm going to get this wrong. But it's one of the few that employed the sort of card collectibles into the experience, where it was like sort of card-based place. I thought that was really nice and unique from that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great user interface. Speaking of great user interfaces, I'll get to that in a second. ADHD's kicking in there. Too many thoughts at the same time. So there were about, I think it was 95 entries to this game jam, which is a lot. There were a lot of really, really good entries, and it was tough to get them all down. So we actually have some honorable mentions that I would like to bring up because we felt that they could have been in the top 10, but we only have 10 slots. So these were games that the judges really enjoyed, and I would like to extend some Wizzy the Purple hats to the people on these teams. So we'll get that figured out after the show. I'll talk to Andy. He should already have he should already have all of your wallet addresses from when you joined the competition. So some games that did not make it into the top 10, but were really excellent. You should definitely check them out. I don't have a video ready for these, but note the names, find them on the gallery if you can't. We'll get to that too. We're Tiny Kingdom TD, The Tree Musketeers, and that is tree like, up in a tree, Musketeers, Random Hero Defense, Crazy Veggies, and Ramen Quest 2. There were different things about these that made them really good. Tiny Kingdom and the Tree Musketeers had really great visual style. Ramen Quest 2 was absolutely hilarious, had a great story. Random Hero Defense was a good example of just a tower defense game in general. It had some nice mechanics. We actually played it on stream before. And Crazy Veggies was also hilarious and pretty true to that tower defense style. So check those out if you get a chance. However, there's a caveat on all of this. a lot of these games are broken right now. Nor if you've watched any of our Game Jam award ceremonies before, you know that we like to unveil the top 10 in random order, then third place, then second place, and then we play first place live as we announce it. We can't do that today because unfortunately the first place winner we can't play right now because the 0.7 update. This Game Jam started before 0.7 came out. The games were completed in 0.6. And now that 0.7 has come out, we can't actually launch 0.6 anymore. And there were some fundamental changes to things from 6 to 7 that broke a lot of these mechanics. And they can most likely be fixed or even improved now that we have the preset system back in 0.7. But it did make judging very difficult because we had to deal with the engine breaking things. But we were very attentive. And we're so proud of the community for what they've done with these games. A huge shout out to Cyber Dragon, who is on the Sandbox staff, but has put together the tutorial that a lot of people used to create the pathing mechanic for the enemies in these games. We saw in this jam in particular a huge increase in the quality of game mechanics that people were using. Everybody upped their game, and a lot of that is thanks to that tutorial showing people the way of how to make a game like this work. So great job, everybody. Please go check out those games if you can, but maybe give them some time, a couple weeks to update their games to 0.7 if they can, so that way they can be played successfully. Right now, a lot of the games will end up with the characters not, the enemies not actually following the path all the way that they need to, or random silly things happen. So keep an eye out on those creators and see what they're working on next, because they're all going great places. All right.
So Alex, before we get into taking it up to the next level,
are we going to throw hands down?
Before I was thinking that we could give those honorable mentions at least so much. Like, you and I, we take pretty intense notes when we play these experiences. Not like super intense, but like, we get a couple sentences, maybe a paragraph in of like the thing that could have maybe set this up and taken it to the next level. And I think these experiences that you note as honorable mentions were pretty close to that top 10 as well. And like, so do you think it's appropriate? Should we reveal sort of on the stream for those people who created these experiences what we thought would take each one to that next level and get it into the top 10? Should we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's pull up our notes. Okay. That's why I hid my screen here. So I'm gonna.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and then another thing to note as well is a lot of people vote in these sort of competitions. So our opinions will be varied. So when Alex said, do you want to throw hands? It's because there will definitely be some opinions that each of us have where we're like, no, you're wrong. Like, Joe, what are you doing? What's I
believe I did say specifically that your opinion's valid. I just don't agree with it.
I'm entitled to my wrong opinion. Yes, it's valid, but it's dumb.
Yes. I was like, I'm gonna temper this, and Lucas is like, let's pour some hot sauce on it. Like,
like Alex was just like, Joe, you're dumb. You should feel dumb. Your opinion is dumb, and nobody likes it. That's what he said right here live. You heard it, chat. You heard it.
Video. So rude.
Well, let's talk about it because we're going to have varied opinions. We're going to have different feelings, right?
Yeah.
But not just the two of us, but everybody who's voting in these sorts of game jams is going to have quite varied opinions. So like, we put them together and we get a nice average and we get these top 10s out of it. But these ones that were falling out, like, I don't know, like you can see certain things. And so I want to talk about those certain things. One of which being like, the Tree Musketeers. The Tree Musketeers was an experience that when I played it worked very well. But to a certain extent, it felt more like Plants vs. Zombies style tower defense and less so like, are we actually having the minions attack the base itself? And the UI was a little bit clunky as a result of its like grid-based mechanics that I wasn't in love with. Like Alex described me.
I think I can actually pull up. I'm gonna pull up videos of these if I can as we talk about them, so people know what we're talking about.
Sure,
So
sure.
Smart.
continue.
Great idea.
Continue. Joe is a tower defense purist. Explain to them what that means.
Yeah. Okay, so when Alex is a tower defense purist, he, in his opinion, means that I'm going to look at some of these games. Like, I'm going to give my harshest critique to try to throw Alex off and get him back into the conversation here. Alex gave Ramen Quest 2, which was a well-developed game by a user who was probably in the chat watching live. He gave it a very high score, and I actually gave it a very low score, and purely because of the order of operations in which you play the experience. You start off the experience with hack and slash mechanics, right? You're playing as the minion, as Alex has pointed out. That's not how I felt when I did the review. It didn't feel like I was the minion. I felt like I was still on the ground. And when I play on the ground, I feel more like it gets closer to a multiplayer online battle arena, MOBA, like a League of Legends or a Smite, because I'm playing as the slashing character. So we're not doing the tower defense. So the first note that I wrote, and I don't erase the notes, I just keep writing, was this is not a tower defense game. Just straight up. That's what I wrote because I started by playing and I write as I go.
We've switched from.
Yeah, I moved on to Ramen Quest 2 right now, which is, again, it was a great game. I went straight to the bottom for the controversy while you were busy. But and we can go back. We can go back to the Tree Musketeers if you've got the video up. So you got the video up for Tree Musketeers.
Yeah,
and
we'll get to Ramen Quest. We'll get there.
Yeah. All right. So we'll do them one at a time. So so on the Tree Musketeers, my first note was practically perfect. I actually rated this as my highest rated game personally in the entire experience. I wrote UI is a bit clunky, but the use of a full viewpoint and focused viewpoint in gameplay was great. Because there's a point in this trailer where you can actually see them zoom out to a literal tower that overlooks the entire battlefield. And then I said character design was great. Mobile game style introduction was great because I felt like it played and looked like a mobile game, especially with the very beginning and that like little hamster character that pops out, right? And it gave you the tutorial and had the conversation with you. And that was unique use of camera versus asset positioning that most people don't, like literally no one else did that. And then I've almost never seen it in the sandbox at all. I wrote in economy mechanics were nice and really nice stuff. I actually loved the Tree Musketeers specifically. And once again, it was my highest rated game. Not everybody's going to love it, but despite the grid-like positioning, I liked the general passive economy mechanics. And so that was me. What did you think about this experience, Alex?
Yeah, it was in my top 5. And I really enjoyed this experience also. If I can rewind here back to the beginning of the video, this is what you start at. So I paused it at this moment. This is how the game starts. This is in game. This is a capture of the actual game footage. You can see right here next to me, there's Hamspear, the poet, who is like right up there next to the camera, talking to you. And this is what gives it, like Joe said, that mobile game feel where it's just, this is a great interface here. Like you're seeing an overview of the whole map. You've got a avatar of a character talking to you really up close. And it's not something we see a lot of in the sandbox yet. People are going to figure out how to do these things and you're going to see more and more of it. But this is just beautiful design here. Also great, just the kind of checkered grid layout of the map. Everything is really, really pretty. The main things that didn't place it higher on the list for me and maybe for other people, as Joe mentioned, the interface is a little bit clunky when you go to select these grids. But again, grid-based movement in the sandbox is like not, if you've built in the Sandbox Game Maker, can you imagine how making a grid-based movement works?
I can't think of it.
Yeah, that's the thing about like it's not it. I think it tries to do snapping, and that's kind of the issue for me, right? Is like if it doesn't attempt snapping, then it's fine. If it's like you're just generally a cursor and you can kind of precise highlight things, you can micro. But as it does try to snap and highlight certain assets, it makes it clunky.
Yeah.
So that would have fixed something for me. And then to go back to like the very first frame again, I want to talk about a thing that wasn't a big deal, but I take a note of this. When you talk about UI UX and your user being able to play on that very first frame that Alex mentioned right here, tree is important. Clearly, it's highlighted in color, and that's great. But the text size needs to stay the same because it's causing weird random breaks right there. Like enemies are, and I can't read this because Alex's thing is a bit like archived, but um, on that section, that text is smaller than the rest of the text, so it makes a weird breaking. And then because the large size of the word tree, it looks like there's like another paragraph for our beloved tree at all costs. And so you could still get the same vibe if you just change the color of the text instead of making it so that it is a different text size with the simple commands in Unity.
And this part's kind of, it's nitpicky. It's that I don't think that change wouldn't make or break, being in the top 10 to not. I don't think. Right.
It's one of the, for me as a picky person, I'm going to take that as a 0 point. Like if I could give a thing 5 stars, which is an option, I'll give it a 4.9 because of something like that. Not because it's a big deal, but because if this is going to be the game that you publish to the map in the metaverse, that needs to improve. And so I'm not going to give, it's not a harsh criticism, but it's just a thing so that you can put it out there on the metaverse, right? Yeah. I want this game to feel complete from you, single sock studio. And you guys can just go, okay, cool. They loved it. Push it.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, really solid experience. I think, like Joe said, the clunkiness of the grid snapping, while a technical accomplishment, kind of made the controls slower and not as fun, possibly. So having a smooth moving cursor would probably be easier to do, and would also just kind of improve the feel of the game. But great job on that. Let's see, what was our next runner up was
honorable
Tiny
mentions?
Oh yeah, not runner up, honorable mentions. Sorry.
I was like, wait a second. What
yeah. Thank you for that correction. Yeah, the next honorable mention was Tiny Kingdom TD. Let me pull up that.
Is that the one with the babies?
No, that was in the top 10.
Ah, gotcha.
We don't. I haven't played any video for these until what we're putting on the screen right now.
Gotcha.
So, so Joe, what did you have to say about Tiny Kingdom TD?
Okay, so I'm going to just lay it all out there because I do write like a little short paragraph for myself. Sure. First, started off, best UI so far, period. There were clear tower stats, but I was not able to determine if the tower stats actually aligned with the way the game is designed. If they did, great, good job on that. Minions should attack only the wall, not each other, or players' characters and or towers. And I think that was one of the issues, right? You could get the minions kind of stuck if you just like hover around them and or they want to go after the towers. And then I asked, why is the runway for the level so long if there are only 7 levels of difficulty? There are so many assets that never get used, and there's no sense of urgency when all minions can die before touching the castle even once. So I think it's a degree of difficulty question. And because your positioning can be great, right? You could stack them all at the very beginning. You could knock everything over. It's 7 rounds, and that was it. But if you could make it so that they're starting to push past the tower, even like the first couple of towers, more health might do it just on the minions, and they're going to get through. And then you get a sense of urgency. Oh, my castle got hit once. I got to move a tower to the back just in case. You have to pivot. And if your gamer doesn't have to pivot in a tower defense, they're probably going to get bored, and they're not going to want to come back. So that's all I had.
Yeah, I agree that this game is just beautiful. I mean, the custom assets are great. The interface is great, like Joe mentioned, the cards. So no fight from me there. It definitely could stand to be longer. I understand, there's a time crunch when doing a game jam. So I would love to see this game expanded with more levels of difficulty, a longer more waves, getting the enemies closer. It was a little bit too easy to just kind of get through this and beat the game. So it'd be nice to have a bit more challenge there. But overall, a really great job by Sandbox TGJ. Let's see, did I have any other comments? I'm trying to remember. No, that was mostly it. The Joe and I were pretty much aligned on that. Sorry, Panda, we're not quite fighting yet. We're getting
we're not
there,
to
though.
that game yet.
We're not to that game yet.
What game is? Oh, gotcha. Panda's comment. Okay.
Yeah.
Last horse finally crosses the finish line.
So the next one was Random Hero Defense. We felt needed an honorable mention there. That was by our guys from Italy there. Let's see.
Is this the game that Panda was referencing?
No, we're not there yet. But this is by Fact Bros, which have been working in the Game Maker for a long time and working in the Creator Fund. So we're always happy to see them around. I'm trying to pull up the video here while talking. Joe, do you have any feedback about this while I find the video link?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing that I want to note is this is one of the first experiences that I ended up playing where the logic breaks, but not so heavily that it's completely broken in the version 0.7 update, right? So when we were reviewing these later in the cycle, we're also reviewing them in the 0.7 point whatever was out, right? And in this particular experience, the logic was broken in that minions don't move down the lane. This is a quote I wrote for myself, except for the first third of each wave. So when you place them, and I think that this happened because of the change in presets, in that we added presets later. So it kind of just broke the way that the game would draft itself in. And you could probably fix this pretty quickly, Fact Bros, but if a game was compatible in both versions, it got much higher like bonus points for me. And we have a category for that. So if it worked in both well, then it got higher bonus points. This one broke a little bit. Anyway, and then I said, that said, multiple waves are playable and the core concepts are true to the genre. I liked and disliked the random hero allotment, and it's nice to see the variation and their varied attack types. The thing I don't like about the idea of a random hero allotment was obviously that I couldn't make it consistent. I couldn't be in control of my own tower defense. And so that got some down points for me on that. Overall, though, this one rated the number 10 for me and did very well.
Yeah, I think we played this on the stream, Lucas and I, a while ago, and some things that were definitely good features about it that I liked when we played it was the user interface for the way it works is kind of more what I would have liked to see the Tree Musketeers have. It's whenever I interact with the browser. I can't make it not do that. It's annoying.
Oh, sorry. That's funny.
It's like every time I click on like a Chrome window, it freezes for some amount of time afterwards. It's dumb. And of course I'm like interacting with the YouTube player here, so I can't help it. Anyway, so what they have going on here is as you, let me see if I can find a part where they're placing the heroes. Here we go. I think this should be it. So you see they run up, and it goes by really fast because they sped it up at that part. But that's the part I want to focus on. As they run up to these squares, you see the highlight pop up when they run up to it. So there's that kind of grid snapping in that you see where the interaction is going to be, but you have smooth control of your character at that point. What's really cool is when you start the round, your character is basically put underground, but because it's a fixed camera, the camera doesn't push in to zoom on the character. It actually stays above the ground. So you can still run around the map while the tower defense is playing out, while the wave is playing. You can run around to see what action is going on, and get a good vantage point. But you're out of the way of the action, so it can continue the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
Lucas, you look like you have some specific note.
No.
Okay.
I'm just really enjoying the tower defense game jam experience as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the content that's come out of it it's broken my mind in a number of different ways in the best way possible on a number of different occasions. And I just love seeing that. Like I don't know what it was. Actually, I do know what it was, or I have an idea of what it was about this game jam that did that. But I just like that this one was the one that pulled this innovation into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
100%
Very
agree
cool
with
to see
that.
these.
Yeah, I love to see really good jams that force you to do something outside the box.
Yeah.
Like if we had an FPS game jam, like I was in a meeting earlier this week with a guy who's relatively new to the sandbox, and he asked me if I was to ask like a live streamer, what should they play? What should they play? And I told him specifically games like basically just game jam games. I was like, yeah, we've got these that are nice games that are like introductory games. We got some adventure, some platforming, some doing these things. But if you want to do things that are hype and out of the box, look at the game jam experiences. And this continues to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, even first person shooter stuff, we had a bunch of that happening in the Walking Dead game jam, and now you can see those in the alpha season. All right,
Clear
so
is great. Go play Clear.
Absolutely. Yeah, we played that with Cody on. So the next game is Crazy Veggies. Crazy Vegs. My English brain wants to say vegs, but I know it's supposed to be like vegetables.
For sure.
Veggies.
I don't think there are vegetables around in this world somewhere.
And
I mean, that's the carrot is the main character. So
this is by DeQuest Studios. DeQuest Studio 2.
Oh, meaning they have multiple studios, which is just really impressive.
I suppose, maybe.
I mean, there has to be a one somewhere. Nobody's just gonna.
It's a count number one, right? They're like, Team 2, you're on.
So we did try playing this on stream. It unfortunately didn't work correctly, mostly because of the update, but you can see the mechanics working in the video. So whenever we encountered mechanics that weren't working correctly when we tried to play them in 0.7, we would refer back to the video and go, did it work when they were recording there? That's what we were looking for, because we understood that the update was causing issues. So super cute assets in this. The little flowers with the smiley faces remind me of I think it's reminding me of Rick and Morty
Mario?
A little bit.
Oh,
and because they've got like teeth. Like I can just imagine this flower just randomly screaming at some point. But everything's pretty wholesome in this. It's cute. You're just vegetables trying to zap some bugs.
I was gonna say, I think that flower, it looks like it's gonna give you firepower. So.
I've got some notes on it. First, before I even get into the notes that I'm on, I want to note something that happens clearly in the video that can be fixed. When you place this tower, boop, you see how the carrot lifts like that? So knowing that the tower has collision on, see, I know this because I've done enough and I've seen enough and we've been around. There's no actual reason for collision to be on in the tower if the minions only move down the wave. So you can avoid your UX from lifting you up by turning collision off on the asset and just having it do its job, whatever that may be, right? Let's go destroy some minions. But then my actual notes here say good use of character design, because everything's super cute, right? It's really well done. The color contrast is great. You know what's what and where it belongs and what it does. But I also noted using multiple actual levels with the death mechanics between waves is a poor choice for lag reasons. So when you do that, or you actually have like levels and everything's sort of like changing or moving or resetting, you're going to affect those people with the really low end PCs. So I just wrote, it could be more efficiently designed as a result of that. And then another thing that I said is that the tower is guaranteed to take damage at level 1, which is good. It's not a problem. But when I saw that in any experience, I would always ask this question: why not add a narrative beat to build on the tension of the game? Usually when you play a tower defense game and it opens up and something comes in, the enemy comes in, and as part of the tutorial, as part of the lesson of that tower defense, they're going to hit the base. And then your character's going to be like, oh no, they hit the base. Make sure you build a tower so that it's defended. And nobody who had their tower get hit in that first wave ever did that, which I think is a huge thing, because these don't have a lot of narrative. They don't have a lot of opportunity for that, but it does give you a sense of urgency as a player to see that sort of narrative beat pop.
Right. Yeah, I agree with almost all of those points, except I kind of like it when the tower pops me up, because I think it's fun. For me,
What do you mean by pops you up?
So it just happened. Yeah, when you build a tower and you're standing above it and the tower rises up and you're on top of the tower, that for me is like I actually find that fun. It's like entertaining to me. And it's just a personal preference. Let's see. Yeah. So I didn't actually have any detractors for this experience, but that just kind of points out like how good the other experiences were. I think this one for my votes, this one rated in ninth place. Obviously, there's a bunch of different judges, not even just the ones between. It's not just me, Joe, and Conrad doing the votes on these. There's other people on staff voting, but we go in and make sure that the games are following the rules correctly and stuff like that, and giving this kind of feedback. So I had no negatives for this. It's just, to me, that's just an indicator of like the high quality of the rest of the games. Like the top 10, at least for the ones that I voted in my top 10, were all just really solid, almost no negatives. That just so many good things going on. If there were negatives, it was little nitpicky things, like things that I don't think would have changed the score much. It was just a matter of how much fun I was having in these games, because there have been game jams we've played where it was a little bit harder to pick winners because you had 6 games that were really super duper solid, and then we had a few games that were like, yeah, they're okay, but they had a lot of flaws. In the case of this jam, I mean, this is why we're doing all of these honorable mentions, because we had like 15-20 games that were like, these all deserve to be in the top 10. They were all really good. We just didn't have that many slots, so that's why this is here. So I don't have a lot that would have put this above the other experiences that I voted on. It was just a matter of storytelling and how much fun I was having. So right.
Before we go on to the next one, I do have a question. Yeah. And Joe, if you're still here, I know you were talking about this earlier. So you still there, Joe?
Never.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much. Good to know. A couple people in the chat have asked this multiple times. I heard that buying an Alpha Pass cannot let us claim sand in the end of the season. So Alpha Pass is only a collectible. What happens if I sell mine and then bought one? Can I claim sand? So basically what they're asking is, you have to win the Alpha Pass to collect sand at the end of the season, or can you complete the quest, buy a pass, and then earn the sand?
Yeah. So the way that it's set up right now, there are 2 different distribution lists. So you've got the first distribution list, which is an on ETH claim the pass button, and then the second distribution list, which will still have the same. It'll still have the same approval list, is for the sand itself. But like with all of the other alphas, you want to have the pass that you won in order to claim the sand, right? But you can't sell your pass to somebody else, have them buy a pass, and then they can claim sand, because you still have to be on the approval list. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, you as an individual user, if you don't win the pass by the raffle, you don't want to go to OpenSea and buy it, because we can't guarantee that you have been KYC'd if you just go buy it on OpenSea. And
Gotcha.
People, in order to win sand, they must be KYC'd. So people who get on the approval list for the pass are on the approval list for the sand, but you need your pass to be able to claim it.
Okay.
But it is a collectible, and you're going to want it in season number 4. For sure, because you're going to get additional tickets for holding it. So there's not a ton of sense in selling it, in my opinion. That's why I've kept my first one, my second one. I hope to get a third one. I'll keep that if I get it too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, as Panda saying in the chat, there's a snapshot at the end of the raffle, so you need to have the pass before the snapshot. You need to have the pass and be KYC'd before the snapshot.
Have the pass, be KYC'd before the snapshot. Got it.
Yeah. However you get the pass, but don't try buying the pass on OpenSea after the snapshot, because you will not.
I'm going to need PandaPops to come into the call and clarify why, because she literally just said you can buy the pass.
Yeah.
But I have heard nothing that indicates that.
Well, that's the way it's always run. I apologize for
being the confusion. I mean, yes, that is. Thank you for joining us, Panda. Sorry about any confusion that might exist, but it's my understanding that it's 2 different approval lists. So a person would be whitelisted on the sand list.
It's from what I've been told, and I will double check and we'll make a proper announcement on tomorrow's alpha stream, I guess. But from what I've been told, yes, you can buy it off of OpenSea. There's no reason why you can't. You just will have needed to have purchased it before the end of the season. Like with every season, you need to have that in your wallet beforehand. You do need to be KYC'd to do any claims. So it doesn't matter. You can purchase an Alpha Pass off of OpenSea without KYC. You still won't be able to claim anything if you haven't KYC'd. So from what I know, you can purchase the Alpha Pass off OpenSea if someone's selling it. Purchase it before the end of the raffle. There'll be a snapshot taken for raffle winners, as well as people currently holding the Alpha Pass in their wallet. And then those people will be able to claim the prizes. I hope that that's enough clarification, but I will double check about purchasing it. But I believe our site even says it in the FAQs.
All right, I'm gonna double check on that part live here, but then also it'd probably be good to check with Hadrian about that. Let's look at the rules. I'm gonna look at the rules and go to the FAQ section.
And I'm just sitting here
Just
enjoying your
chilling,
beautiful
just
voices.
chilling.
But yeah, so sorry for jumping in here.
No,
Okay,
don't ever
so the
be sorry
website
about
says
that.
this.
Take it over.
Don't apologize. You were invited. You were kind of
Well,
ordered, actually.
Yeah, well,
We
yeah,
asked you to
by
be here.
Joseph, but like
Okay,
not
so-
not by the two people who show
Yeah,
it.
this is okay. So it says, is there a way
Joe's
to earn the
hijacked
standard
the
rewards
show,
from
it's
the
fine.
raffle if I don't have the Alpha Season 3 pass? It says no, the season pass is the key to claim. If I gift, sell, lose my pass, can I still get the sand rewards? No, you need the sand Alpha pass to trigger the rewards claim.
Do we lose audio?
No,
Nope.
I think he's
thinking.
concentrating. Big words.
Yeah, big. I'm
big-
trying
it's
to
big brain time.
100%
While we're
make
having
sure
this
because
conversation,
it's
how about I
been
drop
here.
that link?
Please do.
Yeah.
Are you able to get on the site? I got kicked out again.
Yeah, it works fine for me.
Uh,
It says Alpha passes
Moving.
can be traded. What happens if I make it to level 2 and then trade my pass? You won't be able to claim rewards if you trade your pass. There's straight up not a question that says, what can I do if I just want to buy a pass?
I mean, if we're going off of previous seasons, you've been able to buy
You
a
could.
pass.
That's true. But because we have two different approval lists, I want to make sure that that's the case with Hadrian.
It does
oh.
say, so if you go nearer to the top of the rules, Season 3, Alpha Pass, big bold, your winning ticket for the raffle. How can I get one? Giveaway events, see events, and OpenSea. So it does suggest purchase it on the secondary markets for OpenSea. You need to own the Alpha Pass on raffle day to earn the raffle rewards. Beware not to purchase a fake Alpha Pass. They need to word that better. I didn't like that. Beware not to purchase a fake Alpha Pass. So make sure it's got the verified assets, Sandbox assets, little verified tick. Yeah. They usually have a link to the to the Alpha Pass, the
You should
verified
say,
one.
beware, do not purchase a
Yes.
fake Alpha Pass.
Yes, it should.
So you can always, the easiest way to find an Alpha Pass on OpenSea is to go to the search bar at the top of OpenSea. I have a computer. Why am I not just
and you
showing
type the
this?
Sandbox assets first, and you'll see the verified checkmark collection, and you can find the pass there.
So we're just doing tutorial time. So you're on OpenSea.
Yeah, I apologize.
You're on OpenSea. Type in. Well, I don't have to type it in because it's already here. But you type in Sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
The top two results are going to be Sandbox
typing
assets and
things.
the Sandbox.
Mm.
I'm gonna. We're gonna move
See,
this.
well, okay, so here's my issue with this. And forgive me, chat. I know we're spitballing and we should have a definitive answer and don't. But here's the issue that I have, because I did ask this conversation in a meeting. But in the FAQ, it says here that how much time do I have to claim my Season 3 Alpha Pass? This is assuming you need the pass to get the sand at the end of the season. Yeah, makes sense. But it says here, reason 1, if you won your Season 3 Alpha Pass through a social contest while Alpha Season 3 was ongoing, you must claim it before the end of Alpha Season 3 or it will be lost.
So
now, I think this lends to your point, right? Where you must have a pass in order to get on the approval list for Sand, right? That suggests that you could buy one, but
yeah,
the second half,
you get an alpha pass either through winning a raffle or getting a giveaway, but you do have to claim it because the claim is a separate thing on the website. It has to
absolutely
the alpha pass has to be in your wallet.
And I'm on the same page with that. But
whether
it's number
you buy
two
it,
that
get gifted it, trade for it.
It's number two that gets me, and why I think we need clarification here. And again, forgive me for spitballing this live, but number 2 says if you won your Season 3 Alpha Pass through the raffle at the end of the season, there's no deadline to claim it. Which makes me believe that there's a second whitelist for the Sand token.
No. You can still claim it later. You just won't get the rewards.
Right, but would you get the Sand reward?
No. And at least not according to that, I don't think.
So what I'm hearing, I think it's because when they do the raffle, it automatically knows that you should be able to claim those rewards. Like you've received it. So the Alpha Pass itself will be in your claims, but because the raffle knows that you are a winner of the Alpha Pass, you will be able to claim your rewards. I will get that double checked though. Okay. I believe we may have had an email about it as well, like just before the season started. But I will double check.
I don't remember emails from that far back.
Yeah, forgive me. I just see, like, because the next line is how much time do I have to claim my Sand rewards? And I know that it says there's no time limit to claim your Sand rewards. But like, once again, if it is an approval list, then that makes complete 100% sense to me. But if it's not an approval list, then it's something that you could buy the pass. In which case, there's one person earlier today who not financial advice on me and totally traded their thing off because I said, it doesn't make sense for you to buy one. If you're going to win one, you're on the other approval list. But if they're going to snapshot it, which has no FAQ for what do I do if I want to buy one? You know what I mean? And that would be my bad.
All right. Am I going to show people how they can get an Alpha Pass or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
All right. So all of the Sandbox assets are in the Sandbox asset collection. Just typing in Sandbox at the top of OpenSea here will bring these two. Well, that was there anyway. He's just vibing there with his floaty rocks.
Just doing Hopkins things.
Yeah. Anyway, if you type in Sandbox, two of the first results should be the collections, the Sandbox and the Sandbox assets. They have the blue verified check marks with the little squiggly edges. Don't be fooled by anybody trying to use an emoji or anything else. I don't even know if you can use emoji in a collection name, but if you hover over it, it's going to say this collection belongs to a verified account and has significant interest or sales. That means that OpenSea is telling you, hey, it's verified, it's real, it's legit. You go to the assets. And then if you just type in Alpha in the little search down here, it's going to show you these items. We are only letting Alpha passes by that name be minted for the official ones. That was the weirdest sentence structure I've ever conjured in my brain.
I'm doing it.
We're not letting people mint items called Alpha Pass on the Sandbox collection unless it's the official one. So these three that you see here, these are Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and they're the official ones. So you can go here. You'll see that it's got a whole bunch of sales. It's owned by about 1,000 people right now. There's 10,000 of them total. It's got a whole bunch of favorites. It's got a bunch listed for sale. It is the real deal. It's got the verified check mark on there. You can also click this little arrow here between the refresh metadata and the link button. This little arrow will take you to the official Sandbox website, sandbox.game. And the website's having some growing pains right now. Things aren't loading correctly, but it would be here correctly. So
it's like you said, they're working, they're making it better. To make it better, you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet. They're cracking the eggs. Omelet will be here shortly.
Like omelets. Give me a fried egg.
I like food.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
But I feel like we can safely say, considering the site even says you can go buy the Alpha Pass off OpenSea, I think we can safely say you can purchase the Alpha Pass off of OpenSea, but it will need to be purchased before the end of the raffle, and you need to keep it in your wallet at the end as well to be able to get those rewards.
Yes. So the reason why is because there's no unique identifiers on each Alpha Pass. All the Alpha Passes are identical and matching. So if you could buy one and then claim rewards, they have no way of knowing that that one was used to claim rewards before. It needs to be in your wallet when they check to see who has Alpha Passes for those sand rewards. That's why you have to hold on to it. And then you need to keep holding on to it until you've claimed the reward. And then after that, you can do whatever you want with it.
Soy Boy says, we're going to need a lawyer to come down and confirm the Alpha Pass TNCs. Thank you very much.
I'm that lawyer. Joseph summoned me.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
This is why we hailed her all the way from the chat in some random place in the United Kingdom that we will not name.
Although most people do know, not the town, but at least the county.
Yeah, it's New Zealand.
Yep, yes, because
dox
New
her
Zealand's in
so
England.
hard.
Yeah.
New Zealand is definitely in England. They're basically
Yeah.
next door.
Yeah.
They are neighbors.
100%.
One throws a rock, the other breaks a window.
So, I heard we're doing a Game Jam awards ceremony.
I'm gonna go leave, guys. Enjoy your Game Jam ceremony. This has been Lawyer Panda, not real lawyer advice. Definitely no financial advice coming from me. Have a good evening. Bye, guys.
Bye, friend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. All right. So, the last honorable mention. I thought that this part was going to take like 5 minutes.
You were wrong.
I was very wrong.
Okay.
Which I'm seeing reports that the game is maybe down right now, which is I guess fine because I was planning on playing it after this, but maybe we won't get to. But we've already done our hour, so
we put in our time.
So Ramen Quest 2, I rated this one pretty highly, and Joe did not.
No.
Now
Fight.
So Joe, do you want to explain what it was about this? You had started, and then I was like, whoa, we skipped on from where we were. So let's rewind. What didn't you like about this one?
Remember that when I take notes, chat, I'm taking them as they happen, because otherwise, you're going to miss some, whatever. The little details in the game, I'm going to try to pick them up. We played Ramen Quest 2, which is a sequel to a game that was decent, right? They wanted to continue the lore, which is a good thing. And I think, you absolutely want to develop on those experiences. The previous experience
by Green 23.
That's right. And the previous experience was a hack and a slash game, right? So maybe there's some natural connection between the two, but there was no established connection per se as to why we left the last game and went into the next one in the lore. Except that it was said, hey, this is a sequel in the text, which is good. Yeah. So the first note that I took was, this is not a tower defense game. And Alex described me earlier as a tower defense purist, because a tower defense game doesn't mean, in my opinion, standing in front of a tower and defending it while minions run at you. That's a hack and slash game with some objective to defend, right? Like any other action RPG would have. You may have some of those instances happen in an action RPG. That's not a tower defense game, in that the towers aren't defending the base. That's what a tower defense game is. What's your definition of
a tower defense game then?
That last bit that I just said there.
Oh, I think it's not.
If a tower defends a base and not the player actively, that is a tower defense game.
Gotcha.
Right. And you start to blur the lines, and that's like the whole MOBA genre exists because tower defense was there, and so they used the tower defense mechanics and they mixed them with real-time strategy mechanics and action RPG mechanics to make the multiplayer online battle arena.
Yeah.
So I look at this and I see hack and slash game, I think action RPG, and that's where I'm at. And then I have to take this note: hack and slash was not what was asked to be created, and it takes far too long to get to the expected features. Tower defense. They said when you reach the tower defense, towers do not defend the Ramen, which is the objective that all the minions are trying to attack. And then I said, might be good in another game jam, but not this one. Because, yeah, the tower defense mechanics did eventually exist. But for me, you need to have something that can like a tower should have the range to be able to defend the Ramen so that the player isn't the one last ditch effort defending the nexus of whatever it is, the main goal, the castle, whatever it was.
And that is that at that point, that's where I would say that's a Joe preference. Which is fine. It's fine to have preferences.
Why do you like it,
Alex? Well, about the last thing that Joe said about not having the player be the last ditch effort right around the defending at the end after the towers. I did not come from a background of playing a lot of tower defense games before people started making weird ones like Plants vs. Zombies and the one I can never remember the name of that Conrad always pops in and reminds me. Conrad, save me. What was it called? We mentioned it on stream before too. But it was either a third person or first person shooter. I don't remember. But you would build up towers and then you had you would play alongside your towers, and that was one of my first exposures really to tower defense games. So you can see in the video now, at this point now, which this video has been going on for almost 5 minutes now, is the setting up of the towers. This is what Joe's talking about it taking too long to get to the tower defense part, which I get that. I get that.
And that's kind of a huge thing, because like when you play traditional tower defense games, what's core is that it's fast setup and all the action is automation, right? All the action is not you in the action, but it's automation. So when I see this, I'm taking 30 years to set up these towers. You know what I mean? Like, it's not bad implicitly, right. But if there was a way to change your UI in these moments and then go back to the action RPG like base, that's great. But right now, nobody's done that in the Sandbox game because you can't replace your avatar in mid-flight, right?
Right. So what I would actually recommend for this portion, instead of having to keep running back to that garage and grabbing the weapons, what would work better is what we saw in some of the other tower defense games, to interact with those platforms and have some sort of, token system you can only put down, say 4 on the first wave, and then you can put down 2 for the next wave, or however many, and interacting with those platforms to get asked, do you want to spawn this type or do you want to spawn this type? And doing something like that would make this portion a lot faster.
You rang.
Yeah, what was the name of that game that I couldn't that I couldn't remember earlier? The
Sanctum.
Sanctum, thank you. And then there's Sanctum 2 also. Yeah. So I some of my earlier tower defense, at least that I can remember. I mean, I probably played some tower defense before then, but the first tower defense I really remember playing, I think, was Sanctum. And it it's a different kind of tower defense, right? It's not really the roots of tower defense. It's tower defense mixed with some other stuff. And I like my games the way I like my cuisine, a lot of different inspirations mixed together. So
I thought you meant on the floor. So but go on, continue.
No, having that variety and understanding that tower defense doesn't mean one style of game. There's many subcategories, just like there's many subcategories of RPG, shooters, all that kind of thing. And to be able to respect that and not hold yourself to one standard is important. With
Yeah,
this
Joe.
game.
hey now. No,
So,
look.
okay.
It's not that
Yeah,
I'm
orcs-
doing that, but okay. So let's look at
Orcs
this
must
experience.
die. Dungeon
The
defenders.
positives.
Right.
If I'm looking at this as the positives, it's great that we have a bunch of food coming down the lane, things that might be included in a ramen. The stupid things I question, like why is it tomatoes in ramen? That doesn't make sense to me, but I'm wrong about that. Maybe there's a ramen that does it. The thing that I
I've
don't
had
like
tomatoes in my ramen
is
before.
that, well, you've made a mistake, sir. I'm a ramen purist
my
as well.
goodness.
No, but
Whoa.
when you're no.
They were cherry tomatoes and they were delicious. Thank you very much.
Triggered. No, I'm kidding. The cherry tomatoes are fine. That's far too small. Like they're great. They're not going to make a tomato sauce. I'm looking at this guy's ramen and it's red sauce. I'm
Look,
like, what is
Lord,
this? This is not
Lord
ramen.
Denethor ruined cherry tomatoes for everybody, okay?
But
Not for me.
again, it goes
I don't even know
back
who
to
that
the
is.
point. Right now, the wave is happening, and in order to increase the power of your towers, you're sacrificing the base itself. So if you could have just had a tower by this ramen, this is not a problem, right? And that's
Right.
okay. But if you had 2 towers right on your ramen, you wouldn't have to be standing there defending it the whole time.
No,
And
Lord Denethor was in Return of the King, not Two Towers.
Oh,
there-
I know what you're talking about now.
There's
Oh,
also
no.
I was confused.
Oh,
because
no.
of the way you have the weapons laid out, right? Which this may be just because of a time-based thing, but you have a limited amount of weapons instead of a currency type system. So now
Yeah.
you're going to grab all these weapons. You're maxed out. So
Yeah.
you've got 2 waves and that's it of the gameplay instead of this unlimited ability to play. So there's some factoring that would make this really level up. For not even joking, no memes here, right? This is, you could have had your towers be upgradable, you could have had your towers be placeable in different locations, you could have had your lane not be a straight singular lane. There's a lot of things
Sure.
that would have taken this to another tier. Not to say that it's bad, because there's a lot of good to this. Obviously the mechanics of understanding the towers in general are great. I still just don't want to see you attacking directly personally, and I understand that as a personal decision, but that's what's going to be the difference between Alex's votes and my votes.
That's
So
why we
I
have
do-
multiple people voting.
Yeah, and I do agree. Like the tower mechanics here could be a lot stronger. And like I suggested, you could have an interaction system instead of running back to the garage to grab the items. That feels like a really
Laborious.
stress. Well, it's stress where you don't need the stress. You want the stress to be on the lane. You don't want to be the stress running back and forth to get stuff. Because that's a repetitive stress and it becomes a little boring. But so I definitely think there could be improvements on the tower defense mechanics at this portion of the game with the lane, which of course is like the core gameplay loop. So this is one of the reasons why it's an honorable mention and not in the top 10, is that the actual tower defense mechanics could be improved. And I don't disagree with that. I thought that the reason this scored a lot higher for me is just I thought the game was hilarious. Like the
narrative is super funny. The bonus round got me for sure. I mean, my only gripes were I wanted more lanes and different towers.
Yeah. So I mean, they've got this great intro. These pads reactivate, so if you miss something that they say, you can run back and reread the story. It's got a really funny story going on, and there was a moment for me that it's funny. It meant a lot to me in the moment, and as I'm watching the video, it's not even how the creator of the game intended this. Now that I look at it, which is kind of funny, but you're running down this long tunnel at the beginning of the game, and I realized I didn't want to fight all of these guys. I was like, what if I just run past them? And so I just started running down the whole length of this tunnel, past all of the enemies. And there came a moment where I went, wait a minute, am I the bad guy? because it felt like I was a bad guy running down the lane in a tower defense game. This looks like a tower defense game played from the perspective of the enemy. Now, there's all the hacking and slashing going on, which is specifically what Joe didn't like, but that's not how I played this part. I just ran past all these guys like,
Yeah.
woo!
And the thing is, like, okay, so for me, I didn't get to make that sort of pseudo association that you're reverse tower defensing or whatever,
Yeah.
because they're all named like White Tea Gym Guy or Tomato Tea Gym Guy, and White Tea Gym Guy attacks the tower you're defending later.
Right.
So I'm like,
Well,
I
because
never
we're-
made that
Change of heart.
association at
What's wrong
all.
with that?
We're trying to steal their ramen, man.
It's
Yeah,
good
well,
ramen,
yeah, that's- yeah,
except
that's-
it's made with tomatoes, so throw it out. You know what I mean?
You know, you don't actually know that it's made with, it could just be spicy ramen. Spicy ramen is red.
I mean, you're right, but tomatoes are attacking the ramen. All
Because
the
they're not-
ingredients.
there's
of-
giant-
you're keeping
giant
them out, though, You're
tomatoes.
fighting them off.
Right.
You're
No,
keeping them out of the soup.
Why would you keep the egg out of the soup? Why are you
eggs and the
keeping the
leeks.
onions and leeks
Because
out
I'm
of the soup?
intolerant to it, Joe.
Bro,
Mhm.
I want to have
Okay.
like
All
if
right.
it's Shin Ramen, send me a chili, all right? Send me a chili down the lane, not a tomato. It's clearly a tomato-based broth, and I don't like that. Throw it out.
Well, anyway, so as I said,
Oh.
watching the video, it seems like maybe the creator of the game did not intend the thing that struck me so strongly that actually made me raise its score. But I thought the reversal of the role to be the bad guy, at least temporarily in the tower defense mechanic, was
Yeah.
a novel idea that I hadn't seen somebody set it up that way before. It's because really, like, what is a dungeon crawler really? But you are going and attacking all the enemies in the tower. It's kind of like a backwards tower defense.
Everybody shut up. Everybody stop talking.
Oh.
Alex, look at the chat.
Oh my god. Only hardcore.
Congratulations.
You just won through mysterious means
Through mysterious means that we will not discuss.
that nobody else knows about. You just won Wizzy the Purple's enhanced hat.
Congratulations.
You're
Congratulations.
sworn to secrecy as to how that happened. So
We'll also be changing it the next time we do it. So, yeah.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yeah, we're not discussing it, Lucas.
Yeah,
Shut up.
We're not discussing it. We're not going to
Shut
talk about it.
Nope. No, we're already past it. Congratulations, we're done.
All right. So, make sure only hardcore. Make sure that when we drop the giveaway form to enter your information in there, so that way we can send that out to your wallet.
Oh, I already dropped it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then make sure
Is that why people are doing that on my stream now?
Dude, what do
Is
they
that
do?
what's happening?
What do they do? Doing exclamation point things?
Bring it. You've said it.
I'd say do
You
that
said it,
anyway.
Chad.
They do that anyway. No, the thing is they don't know how to know what to say.
Oh, that's true.
That's yeah.
Always different. Will not be the same twice.
Yeah.
Or will it?
Are you?
Maybe not.
We're gonna have a chat after this stream, okay?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, we probably would have anyway. I'm happy to.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, those were our honorable mentions with a 45-minute detour in the middle there.
There was a lot of wonderful entries.
Because we like the party.
Even though that we did a lot of these games all in the same instance, in the same sit down, it was still exhilarating. They were still fantastic to see. The art that is behind this community is amazing.
All right. Are we ready for our top 3 winners?
Boy, I'm so
I'm not going to be
pumped.
ready until Lucas delivers me a tonkatsu ramen.
I actually had that for dinner last night.
Oh, you didn't put tomatoes in it, did you?
No,
Of
there
course
was
you
no
put.
tomatoes in it.
No,
No,
I
not
don't
single
believe
one.
you, Lucas. There is
No.
tomatoes all up in that.
All up in it. It was very, very sensual.
Thank you, Skyhand110. Yeah, so the 5% creator fee that you see on OpenSea for everything in the Sandbox collection currently goes to the Sandbox Game Foundation, which is why we don't have individual creator residuals on the Sandbox collection for now.
Yet.
There are talks about how we can implement that. The way the sandbox economy works is that any transactions you do on Sand, there's for buying and selling sandbox assets, or buying and selling land, there is a 5% tax that gets put on top of that, which sends Sand into the Sandbox Foundation, which funds the programs like the Creator Fund, the Game Maker Fund, and doing stuff like our game jams and stuff like that. So it's the more transactions you do on the Sandbox, the more you're supporting that foundation to empower creators and artists. So by all means, celebrate in the fact that you are buying a Sandbox asset, and in a way, very roundabout, that does sort of pay for me to do things. I don't directly see that drop into my wallet, but it helps support the Sandbox project overall, and specifically programs that I'm very invested in helping, like the Creator Fund and the Game Maker Fund.
And another thing to that, the tokenomics behind it, as Joe has thankfully explained to me many times, it allows us to make it to where we can have a limited number of tokens and not generate this infinite amount of sand out there to where the number just keeps going down. Instead, it's finite. Once all the sand is distributed, that's it.
Yep.
There's a lot of ecosystems out there that just constantly print their own money, and as you see, as time goes on, they become less and less valuable, as opposed to more and more.
Like what?
I'm so glad.
No, don't.
Yeah, we're not going to go there, Alex. We're not going to talk about those other blockchain companies here, Alex.
Oh, I was talking about fiat, but what were you talking about?
No, you're right. You're right. We're going to talk about those future blockchain companies like the US dollar token or whatever. You know what I mean?
Look, Joe and I have an account that has so many little cute little babies on it. All right, and.
No.
What are
we talking about?
There is an infinite kind of account out there that is just sad to talk about. All right.
Can we not discuss Conrad just saying where you made babies?
Joe, you can't deny what happened. You can't deny what happened. You need to take responsibility.
I wasn't even there. If we went on Maury would be not the father.
Not the father.
Done. I would do the little shimmy and walk off the stage. This was your fault. It was your choice. They're yours and yours alone.
But for real,
Chad, a DNA test turns out I'm 100% not the father.
I have no idea what they're talking about right now.
We may or may not be talking about another blockchain company,
right?
And their games, and the way that they allocated tokens, and the way they allocated assets in an unlimited supply. And we don't do that here.
Babies.
Okay. Well, the only thing that I was talking about was the fact that when I was in college 10 years ago, a burger was $1 and now it's $4 for the exact same burger.
Yeah, well,
that means that in 10 years, that price has gone up 4 times, which means that
inflation is like reverse compound interest.
That's kind of exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. But most people don't look at it like that. They're like, I'm going to put my money in the bank. And you're like, wow,
sand is limited. Sand is limited.
Sand is limited. That's true.
Do you know what the max tokens is off the top of your head?
3 billion tokens will ever exist. And 2 billion currently exist, I believe. Maybe higher than that. I'll double check right now before I end up looking like an idiot like I did earlier today. I'm going to click this. And currently there are 1.5 billion sand in circulating supply. So we are not quite halfway through the distribution. It launched in August of 2020, and we will continue that distribution through 2025 August until sand is fully distributed in a plan. We're not just giving it out like hotcakes. No, you can't just print it in unlimited supply. We are not the United States Treasury.
All right. Well,
Argentina.
On that note, we've got 3 Game Jam winners.
Top 3.
Let's go.
All right.
So, coming in 3rd place is Castle Defenders by VVox.
VVox!
Do we want to leave our comments on these as we're kind of going through?
Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I can start it off. My
Sure.
only
Yeah.
comment for VVox is because they always blow me away. Other than the snapping of the camera, which was a little disorienting, I just simply wanted more.
Yeah.
There
I
wasn't
wanted-
enough.
I wanted more. I wanted more cards. I wanted more towers, and I wanted more enemies. And I know the time for these game jams, kind of puts a damper on that. This was very well done. I loved being able to put the warriors down in the lane. It was just a ton of fun, and I only felt like I wanted more levels, and I wanted more.
I think it's a really good criticism.
Okay.
All right. In 2nd place, we've got Toon Defense by Echoverse Studio. This
like that.
this game had incredible character design. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it on this video,
It's
but
got a beautiful layout.
if you get up close to these characters, so basically there's 4 heroes that you can spawn on this map, and that just went too fast, and congratulations to 1st place is No Mommy by Kajoiji. that video clip was shorter than I expected, so I thought I had another I thought I had a little bit more time. We'll come back to Kajoiji. They've got more time on this.
That's so funny.
Whoops. So you can't really see it too well because the video compression and stuff, but these characters are so detailed. They kind of break our voxel rules a little bit by using some angled stuff and some little extra details, but they're so well done, so professionally made, and each one of these characters upgrades multiple times. They I think they get a little bit taller. They definitely get more detailed and more awesome. So
Which craft is this?
Well, they're up on this platform here, that you see, right behind Lucas's head here, and this is your upgrade platform, and then they spawn out on this battle arena floor. So as you collect XP, if you will, you can spend the XP to upgrade the characters, and after you upgrade them a couple levels, they evolve basically, and they look so cool. The characters are so good. It's awesome. I want to see more from Echoverse Studio using these characters because they did such a good job with it. And yeah, it's just a really well made game. This is one of the most solid experiences, and it played fine in 0.7 for me, which was also amazing. I was able to play it all the way through.
It was amazing with all those faces, like how well it ran too.
Yeah, it ran smooth and everything. So just a really, really excellent project. So congratulations to Echoverse Studio on 2nd place, and in 1st place, No Mommy by Kajoiji. I'm gonna try to find the start of it. Bunch of babies.
and real quick, first on No Mommy, right? Literally the only thing that didn't make this a perfect score for me was the glow effect on the tower locations. This didn't affect me personally at all, but I thought that the little tiles that you had made, those little like puzzle pieces, the floor puzzle pieces that you can buy if you're like working out or whatever, you buy them for the kids to make a play area. I thought those were really good indicators, fantastic indicators, in fact, for a tower. So when you were placing your towers, those actually lit up. They had a glow effect on the tower locations, but I actually felt like they were already obvious enough, and that glow effect might have just put undue lag on somebody who had a really low end PC, right? So that was the only possible criticism that I gave to that game, but really, really, really fantastic build, and very, for sure, worthy of a 1st place finish. And the only difference between Toon Defense and that, and what could have like really kicked it over from Echoverse Studio, was that the UX wasn't the best. User experience is what that is. And that being said, it's because you spent more time with micro mechanics and you're not given enough time to watch the fight resolve. So you lost some of the lovable art and the mechanics of the game because you can't actually see the fight happening without having to run around the whole time. And that's like, it's such a small thing to think about, but like for me as a purist, as Alex says, like I want to be able to see that fight resolve because that's the reward that you get, right? When you play a tower defense and you place all the towers and you think about your positioning, the reward you get is watching the wave die to you. And you're like, yes, I knew how to set this up.
My strategy was perfect. Like I made it work.
Exactly.
I influenced this.
Every single wave and the death of that wave matters to like the endorphins popping off in my brain. So Toon Defense, I think, could have been in that first position or at least very, very close to that. Just simply by giving a little bit more time so that you can watch that fight resolve.
Yeah. And another thing that was apparent on it's hard to say the title without just kind of giggling on No Mommy was that it had, was it 8 levels? It's like a really long game. It has a lot going on. So
the variety of towers.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the whole video for that.
I mean,
here it is.
Know, brick baby for the win.
So yeah, the unfortunately the reason I can't play it on stream today is because the 0.7 update broke it. Also, this video is great too. It's just so beautifully put together. But unfortunately, when I tried to play this, none of the babies would spawn. So I had to run around just as myself trying to defend the mommy from the vegetables. But for whatever reason, if I tried to spawn a brick baby, the baby wouldn't pop up, but all the bricks would drop on the ground and the vegetables would step on them and die, as one does when they step on Legos. So
it's the truth.
Alex,
you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we did mention the Toon Defense earlier, right? As one of the honorable mentions, or not? Or not Toon Defense, forgive me.
Toon Defense was second place.
Tiny Kingdom TD.
Yes, I did. I mentioned that I replied to that in the chat. Tiny Kingdom is an honorable mention, and for all the honorable mentions that we covered, I'm going to be sending them Wizzy the Purples and Handstat. So that
nice.
Yeah, that was a while ago though. We had the whole discussion about the Alpha Pass in between that and now. All the words I'm saying just sound ridiculous. Well, you're a wet noodle. You sound ridiculous. All right. So, yeah, this I don't know if it showed up on the screen. There was a point where it mentioned how many levels there were. I think it's 8. Crazy variety on this build, and it was a beautiful thing to behold. Another thing that may have caused lag, there's a lot of little physics items, which I love. They're cute, but having those physics items roll around can also cause some lag for users. So this was a pretty heavy game because of how much it's got going on. So any little optimization can help. But yeah, you've got the kitchen, you got the park. You got a beach, got a garden. I don't know if they show all the levels in the video, but really, really good job from Kajoijid, which is a team. I'm not sure how many people are in that team, but they worked on this, and it's just an excellent game. I can't wait to see this. Maybe in Alpha Season 4. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh, it's exciting. I mean, I wish we could zoom in on those little play mats, the puzzle pieces.
They're so good.
They have all of the detail.
They have the little texture. Like if you've ever felt these foam mats in real life, they've got a little bumpily texture.
Bumpily. That's a science word for you
bumpily,
folks.
It definitely is.
Yeah,
it's an official term.
That is the material science term for that kind of foam. It's bumpily. Yeah, actually, you can see it pretty well right now. If I pause on it, well, It might not work through the video compression, but they do an alternating pattern of basically a checkerboard pattern on it. But it looks so perfect, and these blocks look like they all interlock correctly. I'm not sure if they do or not, but
I definitely get the impression they do.
This is such a childhood memory of mine, because anytime you were like at somebody's house where they had like a dedicated playroom, or if you went to like a daycare center or something like that, they always had these things. And I don't know, the amount of the attention to detail and just knowing what it's like to have like little kids running around in a space, it was great. Loved it.
Nice.
Diamond plate pattern. Yeah, you could call it that, Mr. Pizza Man, if you want.
If you want.
Sometimes it's just a weird texture. I worked in
think
daycare for a little while.
I think it's the bumbly texture.
It's
Yeah, I
definitely
think-
bumpily, regardless of the texture. It's bumpily as heck.
All the bumbly.
Hey, did you notice just there, Lucas, that was a pepper and not a tomato?
No.
Mommy knows how to cook. All right.
Sorry, mommy. Sorry.
All right, good night, everybody.
Listen, she
That's all,
she don't
folks.
cook. She don't clean. Let me tell you how she got this ring.
Lucas, do we have a winner to the floor?
We do.
Who's our winner?
Congratulations goes out to. One second, let me find it again. Pausing for dramatic effect. This is the Alpha Pass winner, by the way. Congratulations goes out to Fashul over on Twitch. You have won yourself an Alpha Season 3 pass. Congratulations.
we go.
And the winner of Wizzy's purple hat, Wizzy's enhanced purple hat. I'm just gonna start calling it Perp.
Wizzy the Purple's enhanced hat.
There you go.
One of those
Enhanced
combinations.
Purple Wizzy. Yes, that guy.
Enhanced
article.
purple Wizzy.
Enhanced Purple Wizzy is won by
like Math the
Joseph Pagolo over on YouTube. Congratulations, Joey. Really nice to see you win something.
I like Joseph Pagolo because her name is Joseph.
I kind of figured.
I respect
It's a
it.
+1 for me.
Rigged.
Rigged. Pagolo is my Wednesday name. All right, that's my
Oh.
Wednesday. I'm just kidding.
This is Joe on his alternate account.
Yeah, it's my third log.
All right. Well, I'm sad that we weren't able to play this game today, because it looks awesome and fun, and I would really like to play it on stream sometime, maybe in the future. But I think we spent enough time today streaming. I'm ready for dinner. Thank you, Conrad. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Panda, who's not with us anymore. And thank you, Lucas.
dead.
Who
By the
can
way.
say where the road goes?
Where the wind blows.
Only time. The dogs are like, no singing for you. You can't sing.
That's my time, everybody.
Oh.
All
Have
right.
a wonderful night. We're going to take off now. Bye.